Grilling season is here. Celebrate with the Essentials bundle in your first box when you go to butcherbox.com/herd. You get 3 pounds of chicken, 2 pounds of pork chops, a couple pounds of ground beef for free if you sign up butcherbox.com/herd. You know that thing we talked about for like a minute yesterday, maybe not even a minute. There is this thing, the English Premier League is the NFL of England and Wales and all that stuff. English Premier League, right? It's like Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea. So yesterday a story broke. They were going to create a super league and basically say, see ya, bottom half of the league. It'd be like doing in the NFL saying, all right, we're going to get rid of Jacksonville, Detroit, Cincinnati, the losing teams, and we're just going to have a new league of only the top like 12 teams, Packers, Steelers, whatever. Everybody freaked out, and apparently now it's already folding. Here's what cracks me up. So the people that were going to create this super league, did you not think you were going to get pushback? It's like Spotify hiring Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's controversial. So Spotify hires him and immediately deletes all the scary episodes where it's like, well, then don't hire him. Like when you created the Super League, did you not think everybody was just going to be like, yeah, we're blowing up the English Premier League. There'll be no pushback. I work with a lot of executives in my life, a lot of managers. The percentage that have the guts to deal with blowback is tiny. It's like, just admit, you're not edgy. You can't take blowback. You sit on Twitter all day worrying about that stuff. Don't hire Joe Rogan if you can't take hate. Like you and I are in the talk space. Half my audience hates me. And I always validate it by saying, well, I hate half my audience, so we're even. Half of them hate me, I hate half of them. It doesn't matter. But if you're going to make risky decisions, deal with the blowback or don't do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of inherently what it is, right? Like if you are an edgy person or if you're a, just kind of a natural, not irritant, but like, you have opinions and you feel strongly about things and you say them, you realize very early on in your career there's going to be people that don't like that. And you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to. And by the way, even if you are as close to perfect as possible, there's still going to be people that hate you. So that doesn't mean not be genuinely who you are. But yeah, everyone's not going to like every decision you make.
By the way, we hired a guy, Tom Rinaldi, as good as anybody in the business at what he does. He doesn't do Twitter. To him, it's like, it's too harsh for me. So he owns what he is.
Right.
He has no interest in being edgy. What drives me nuts is guys that can't handle edgy, but want to dip their foot in the edgy pool, like Spotify. We're edgy. No, you're not. You're not edgy. That's not what you are. So don't hire Joe and just, bottom line, just let Joe do his own thing. And by the way, I nothing against Spotify, really, nothing against him. But Joe Rogan, you hired him, and then you're, it's like then you don't like what you hired. You want to get all the upside. You don't want to deal with the kickback.
Well, the upside is that, though. Like, that's what authentically, he built that by being his authentic self. Whether you like it or not, that you have the choice not to partake in that content.
So, like, I work for a company. As I'm doing this TV show, I'm also doing a radio show for Premier Radio Networks. They've had very controversial people for years. But they back them, and they know they're controversial. And that means sometimes they have to get blowback from advertisers and media critics, but they defend their people. I think we have Glenn Beck, controversial. But they know that, and they defend them, and they're very comfortable defending controversial opinion makers. But when companies hire people and then they can't take it, it's like, just go back to being safe and doing vanilla content.
And there's nothing wrong with vanilla content. Lots of people love vanilla.
I love vanilla. I'm a big fan of vanilla. All the time. But this super league, we're going to create a super league and blow out half the EPL. And a day later, it's like, well, people didn't like it. Well, we were just kidding. We're sorry. What did you think? It's like the NFL of England. What did you think? Of course there's going to be major blowback. I'm done for today. You're done with me, and I'm done with you. I'll see you tomorrow. It's The Herd.
Go to a Super Bowl. Everyone thinks that Matthew Stafford is better than Jared Goff. But Jared Goff did go to a Super Bowl.
I don't know what they're going to win. I will say this.
And then what about Sam Darnold?
I think the expectations for Sam, if he goes 500, but I don't think that's a rebuilding process. Rams are ready to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And Colts, you could argue the Colts are contenders.
Yeah, so those, Wentz and Stafford, and I think Baker does now. Listen,
and there's no pressure on Goff, right?
Oh, no, he's just trying to find a life preserver and stay afloat. That thing's a mess in
So
Detroit.
it's between Wentz and Stafford to you.
Yeah, those guys. And a little bit with, and I also think Daniel Jones. I think the Giants
No, I'm saying of the guys that have moved.
Oh, the guys that have moved. Yeah, I would say Wentz, because I think he's making even more. Wentz, listen, we know Stafford's going to succeed. The question is,
how much?
Yeah, I mean, and like Wentz, there's questions. We don't know if it's going to work because he just lost his confidence. But Stafford will work. I don't doubt Matt will be good. In fact, I don't bet on stuff like this normally. I bet more games and futures. But if I was betting MVP, I would bet Matt Stafford in a heartbeat. The reason being, just think about this. He never had a good running game in L.A. He's got a great one. He never had a brilliant coach. He has one. He never had a loaded receiving corps. He's got one. And the O-line's better. No, now, Carson Wentz, you can say what you want, but he had Doug Peterson's a quality coach.
Yeah.
He had something. When it was healthy, his O-line was good early in his career. Stafford is getting elevated. I mean, if you're listening to my show and I told you, you get a better boss tomorrow, you get a bigger budget tomorrow, you get a better support staff tomorrow, and you're good already.
And that's what I'm saying. So is there more pressure on him than there is on Wentz?
No. I think it's a lot of pressure on both.
So I think you'll like this story. You like Gonzaga. Didn't have the ending to the season that they wanted, but Chet Holmgren is the #1 high school basketball recruit from the class of 2021.
In America.
He has committed to Gonzaga, yes.
Yeah.
He is the first #1 ranked prospect to commit to the school. He is a 7-foot center.
Good Lord.
Who chose the Zags over a lot of other schools. He's from Minnesota, so Minnesota, Ohio State, Michigan, North Carolina, Memphis, Georgetown, as well as the G League. That was on the table as well, so he's going to go to Gonzaga. Holmgren is also good friends with Jalen Suggs. They used to play together. So he said that Suggs had a big influence on his final decision. Boy. That is a ripple effect to getting big-time recruits. And they have a good experience there. They're going to, pass that influence on to other recruits.
By the way, Minnesota, the home of Trey Lance, this kid, Jalen Suggs. They got some good high school ballers.
His highlights are fun. He's obviously a great shot blocker.
He needs
7 foot tall.
Gain some weight.
Well, he's a kid, so
he looks thin.
He is thin. He's 7 foot tall. He weighs 195 pounds. So he's averaging 20.8 points, 12.6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and 4.7 blocks while shooting 80% from the field.
That's insane.
Now, there's been some comps to Kristaps, but I don't look crazy. I don't like crazy comps, but when I watch him, he reminds me a little bit more of Kevin Durant. He's got really good ball handling skills. He shoots 80% from the field. He's averaging 20.8 points. Obviously, he's, playing center. He's 7 foot tall in high school, and he's a whole foot taller than everyone else on the court, but he's really skilled for being that tall.
How about that? Gonzaga now beats out Kentucky and Duke for players.
Well, they've won at least 30 games in 5 straight seasons, and they have the nation's longest streak of Sweet 16 appearances.
And they develop players because they take these 3-star recruits and they go to the NBA. What are they doing now with 5-star recruits? I'll say this again. I had a conversation with somebody I really respect in basketball 2 nights ago. He goes, look at the top 20 guys in the NBA. They're either international, LeBron straight, they're so good, or college. He goes, not a G League star. He goes,
well, no, I don't. I mean, G League's not going to be doing that immediately. The G League has not been a desirable place to be for many years. The NBA is developing it into something.
I'm a little bit of a skeptic of the G League.
I mean, I am too, but I like that it is an option for players.
That's
because
fine.
Everybody doesn't have the same support system and upbringing, and $100,000 is a lot of money.
I get that.
So I get that part of it. I like that it's an option for players.
I think it's the third option.
College is probably still the best place for guys who do have support systems. And there is some value, obviously, to going to a program like Gonzaga, who's going to clearly develop
20
your
TV
game.
games.
Yes. Well, not even that. I mean, kids are stars to some degree if you're in the basketball world, elevating to the level of, millions of people watching March Madness that Gonzaga is going to be there, and you're working with Mark Few, who's going to develop your game. If you're, someone like Chet, this is a good decision.
If you're a high school basketball player and are good, I'd strongly encourage Gonzaga. That's
solid
what I would
advice.
say. Is that unethical? Did I just do something illegal? Did I break an NCAA rule?
No, I don't think you don't work for anybody. So.
That's right.
Yeah, I think you're good. I think you're in the clear.
Zag's very good coach over there. All right, Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Oh, I'm so late.